Okay, so this lesson is supposed to be 4.3. And my class yesterday when I was recording, or right before I pressed play, not when I was recording, said that I start all of my lessons with okay.
Yeah,
did you guys hear that?
Okay,
yeah. I just did it. Okay. So, okay, here's 4.3. And we're calling this one sales tax, tip, and commission. I'm just going to talk about those three things today. So this today is 12/1. Okay, and then our essential question is still about money. So I'm just going to put, I like to abbreviate, right? So here's my EQ for you. EQ, money, question mark. You like it? Mm-hmm. Good. Still talking about that. Percentages and money. Okay, so the first thing, sales tax. So write that on the left side. Sales tax is not in every state. Like Oregon doesn't have sales tax.
Wait, they don't?
They don't. So a lot of people will drive there around Christmas time and go to the outlets and spend money because they don't have to pay tax on sales.
The gas prices.
No, it's about the same.
Gas prices are really good.
Okay, so let's say you guys want to buy, I don't know, some kind of PS4 thingy. But it's on sale, so it's $140. And you have to pay tax. So we're just going to say this is an area with lower tax, not California. So we're going to add 5.75% tax to that. Okay? So if you're asked a question like, just find the tax, this is what you do. You take the 140 and you multiply that by the decimal. So that's going two places to the left, right? 0.0575. So two places to the left is the decimal. And that would give you around $8.05 tax. Okay, so that is one way if they ask you to find the tax. But most of the time, they just ask you to find the total with tax, just like you would get on your receipt, right? Have you guys looked at receipts where it has total and then, or it has like subtotal, tax, and then total?
Yeah.
Okay, so most of the time you have to get the total. So you write 140 times, and there's a little shortcut. You put a 1 in front of the decimal, and then put the 0.575. And that 1, when you multiply that, that includes the 140. Do you see that? So that will give you the total, and you don't have to do two steps where you find it and then add it. It just automatically will give you 148.05. Okay? So just the tax, leave off the 1, but if you need the total, include the 1. I learned that at my first job when I was 16 at Little Caesars Pizza. Did I tell you about that job?
No.
So this is before computers and all that. And so people would call in their pizza order. And we had big calculators, like bigger than this one, like double the size. And they would want their total, right? Before you hung up on the phone, you tell them your totals will be blah, blah, blah. And so at first, I was like doing this the long way. So I was getting the tax and then adding it to the original amount and then telling them, which is kind of annoying, right? And then someone told me, oh, if you just put a 1 right there, you got it. So that's where I learned it. But I was 16. So you guys are learning it way younger. So when you get jobs, you'll just be ready to go, right? Actually, you'll have computers, so you'll be fine. But that's what we had to do back in the day. Okay, so that's sales tax, and now we're going to talk about tip, also known as gratuity. So write gratuity underneath that. Gratuity. Okay? So one of my other jobs, I've had a lot of jobs, but I waited tables, as a waitress. And when you go out to eat where they have waiters and waitresses, they're called servers now, you should leave a tip. So you probably should not go there unless you have a tip to leave, right? Yes? Okay, it's not Taco Bell. So you go, and standard tips are like 15% to 20%. I normally leave 20% when I go out because I know it's hard work, because I've done it before. But a lot of people leave around 15% gratuity. Have you guys ever seen your parents do this? Or?
Yes.
Okay. So when you guys start to go out, when you get a little bit older and you go out in high school with your friends, maybe you'll go out on prom night to a nice restaurant or something. Yeah, keep in mind that you want to leave a tip, because if you don't, your servers will be very mad at you, right? Okay? So let's just talk about one. Let's say we have a $35, and sometimes it's called a check. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
When they say bring the check?
Yeah.
So $35 check, you could also put /bill, so you know what that means. And let's say you want to leave a 15% tip. Okay? So just to find the tip, it's the same as the tax kind of situation here. So we do $35 times, we have to move our decimal 2 places to the left, so what would that be?
0.15.
0.15, exactly. Okay, and we multiply that, and we're going to get $5.25. So that's how much you would leave. And then you would add that to the total, right? Have you guys ever seen those little receipts where they write it in, then they add it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay. If you just wanted to know the total, what could you do when you multiply? Put a 1 in front. Good. And so that would give you your total, and that one's, you just add these, right? So it's $40.25. Did you have a question, Soren?
Yeah, what would happen would you get in trouble if you didn't leave a tip?
You wouldn't get in trouble, but I've had that happen to me before, and it's kind of a bummer, because when you work at a restaurant, they don't pay you very much. You get paid minimum wage. So you live off of your tips.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and servers have to tip out of their tips. What that means is if there's busboys or dishwashers and things like that, they're going to give a portion of their money to the busboys and dishwashers.
So
and it's a percentage that you're required to give it. You also have to pay tax on those things. So if let's say someone stiffs you, they don't give you a tip or whatever, you still have to give some of your other money to the other people, some of your other tip money from other tables. So it's kind of a bummer, because you could end up losing money.
A $500 tip.
That would be wonderful. Never happened to me. Yeah.
What's a busboy?
The busboy's like the one who comes cleans the table.
Boy.
Okay? All right. Now, sometimes you guys will get something where you have tax and tip. Most restaurants charge tax now. I don't know if you've seen that on there. So let's do one like that. So we'll combine them, okay? So let's say you go out to eat, and it's a $40 check or bill. And you have to pay 6.75% tax. And then you also want to leave the 15% tip. Okay, so we can do this pretty much all at one time. I'll show you how. So you take the 40, you multiply that by the tax. What could I multiply this one by?
1.
Good. 1.6.
7.
So look at the first example up there, right? O for 0. 675. And then how could I do the tip? 1.15. So I can do this all in one swoop, which is what the calculator and computers do now, right? So I can do 40 times that, and I should get a total of $49.11. Okay, so if you're given a word problem, which you probably will, get one, it'll say, what is the total on a $40 bill with this tax and this tip? And so that's the shortest way to do that. You could find them individually and then add them together too, though. But why would you do that, right? That just takes too much time. Okay, let's talk about commission. So on the left-hand side, write commission. And commission is money paid for sales. So I talked about some examples earlier, like maybe the retail person at Tilly's, or a real estate person, car salesman. Those are different examples, okay? So you might have, let's talk about a real estate commission, because that's big money and that's fun to talk about, right? So let's say you sell a house for $300,000. And when you sell your house, the deal is that you had to give your realtor some commission. Okay? And let's say they were really, really good, so you gave them 10% commission. That's really high. Sometimes it's like 5%, but we'll just go with, we're being generous because it's the holidays, right? Okay? And so we need to figure out how much are we going to have to pay our realtor here. So what do you guys think you multiply by?
0.10.
Good. That's just 10%, isn't it? Do you have to put the 0.10 or can you just put 0.1?
You don't have to put the 1.
If you put the 1 in front of it, then that's not what you're paying them, is it?
That's
Yeah.
what it totals up.
That would be like the total, but that's not what you're going to give them.
Yeah.
So 300,000 times 0.1 is $30,000.
Oh,
Yeah, who wants to be a realtor?
I want to be a sports agent.
Okay, normally it's not that much. It's anywhere between 3 and 5%, I think, right now, but I don't know for sure. I don't sell houses on the weekend or anything. But it is pretty good money. And think about, like, if you guys are in Los Angeles or someplace like the Bay Area where houses are like $3 to $5 million on average. Think about if you're a real estate agent there, right? You're making good money. And then sometimes if you're a real estate agent, though, you're the one selling the house, but another agent will come in with their buyer. You have to split that commission with them.
Really?
You guys know about that?
Yeah.
So, like, let's say it's 6%, you each get 3. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a couple you tries. And let's see. Here's one. You try. We haven't done these for a while, right? Number 1. I want you guys to get the total. And we have $2.95 pair of socks. They're really cool. And 5% tax. So, when you think you know, raise your hand. You have to do a little bit of rounding on this one. Okay, Natalie, what do you think it is?
$4.43.
It's a little bit too much, but I have some socks I want to sell you. Okay, what do you think it is, Ryan?
I have 2 answers.
Okay, what do you have?
$3.10 or $3.09.
Why do you have 2 answers? Are you
Because
trying to figure out how to round?
No, you said round, so I rounded it.
Okay, well, here's what I got. So I did $2.95 times, I put the 1 out front, right?
1.0.
And the number that you should get in your calculator is 3.0975.
I got one of them.
But you need to round up.
Oh, never mind then.
So you were right with the first answer.
So
$3.10 for those
I
socks.
was right on one of them.
Okay, raise your hand if you got that right. Okay, let's try another one. You try number 2. We're gonna go with, again, we want total, okay?
Yes.
So let's say we go out to lunch and we spend $28 on our bill, and there's no tax to this place. It's in Oregon or something. And we're going to add 15% tip, and I want the total again. Just raise your hand when you know. Okay, what do you guys think it is?
$32.20.
Good, I'm glad you changed it to money. So look, 28 times 1.15. We did a bunch of 1.15s already, so that was easy for you. And that one worked out to $32.20. $32.20. So without really doing any calculations in your calculator, could you guys then tell me what the tip amount was? Just by looking at it?
20 cents.
Yeah, so let's write that. The tip would be, look, 28 and 32, that's $4, right? And 20 cents. Okay, I'm going to give you a bonus question. I have to flip my page over. I'm writing a little bit big, so maybe you guys don't have to flip it over. It doesn't look like we're going to need that second page because I cut some stuff out. So, okay, number 3. This one's going to be on commission. Okay, so I'm going to write commission right here so you know what it is, what kind of problem. Okay, let's say that you work at Tilly's, okay, and you, in one day, you sell to people $650 in sales, okay, and Tilly's is going to give you 3% commission, okay, but then you have to pay the government some taxes, like income taxes, so you're going to have to pay a tax. I'm going to put right here income tax, so you know. Different than sales tax. And you're going to have to pay that tax at 8.5%. So I want you to tell me, after you pay the tax and everything, what do you profit? What do you make? Anybody figure it out? Couple people? Zeke, what do you think it is?
I'm not sure if this is right, but you profit $21.15.
So you just you made a little bit on this sales, and
Round up.
then afterwards you make $20-something. Okay. What do you have, Ryan?
I honestly don't think this is right. I don't know. Okay.
That's okay. We're trying. You try.
Okay. $165.75 with a guess.
Okay.
Yes.
That sounds a little bit high, Sophia.
Well, I got 19.5 for the
So like 1950?
So I got 19.5 and then it added 8.5 as
Mhm.
the income tax and I got 28. So maybe $28.
Does income tax add to what you get to keep or take away?
Take away.
Oh,
Oh, that's what I did wrong. I multiplied it.
Soren, what'd you get?
I got 19.5 on the 650 with 3% commission.
Uh-huh.
Then I times it by 1.058.
Okay.
Wait,
1.085. Okay, so what you just told me is you did
I did the exact same thing.
650 times .0.
0.03.
Okay, so if you guys didn't do that, put that in your calculator. And I also get 19.5, so that's like 1950.
Yeah.
So that's what you make off of that day of sales.
Yep.
But then remember there's tax.
Yeah, so you have to times it,
Mm-hmm.
and then
You timesed it by what? .0?
Yeah.
0.085.
Okay.
0.085.
I'm going to do that. You guys do that too. And you got $1. Well, really, you got this long thing, right? 16575. Is that what you got?
Yeah, and then I added it.
Okay, but we need to make this. We need to round it to dollars and cents. So this 7 right here is going to round that 5 up, right? So this is $1.66.
Okay.
Okay, so
Then I added it with 1950.
but we don't want to add it because we have to pay it.
Oh my.
Yeah. So
Wait, I just have to pay the $1.66.
Uh-huh.
And I get to keep the 19 and never mind.
well, you get to keep most of that, right?
Yeah.
So you subtract
So
19.
Do you guys see it now?
Yeah, you subtract 19.
Okay. So 19.5 minus 1.66.
I'm still confused.
Okay, I'll help you. Let me write it down first. Did anybody actually get 1784?
No, I got.
Nobody did.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so look up here, guys. Shh, it's still recording. It's hearing everything you say. All right, so we have 650, and we get to keep 3% of that. 3% of that is 1950. Does that make sense to everybody? That part's okay? But then when you pay tax, they take that out of your income. They automatically deduct it on your paycheck. You'll see a big deduction the more money you make. So whatever tax bracket you're in, it's different based on how much money you make. But let's say you're in this bracket where they take 8.5%. Then you have to take your total that day, multiply that by the tax, but then you subtract it because this isn't sales tax, this is income tax. That's different, right? Sales tax is like you're paying it right away when you buy something. Income tax is when they take it right out of your paycheck. It's lovely. You're going to love it. That's sarcasm. Okay. So this is what you get to take home after they take the tax.
So that's basically like a tip if you work at a restaurant.
What?
Never mind.
No. It's like commission is based on sales.
But if you sold 650, wouldn't
Yeah.
you get more than that? Because that's only like $17. Like that's like
Well, not really. Like 3% is pretty standard commission.
Standard.
Mhm. Like that's the standard number you would get is 3%. Sometimes 2%. So it's not a lot. So you think you're going to get your hourly wages too, right? But this is on top of that. This is like the bonus thing, like what Zeke was talking about, the bonus, right? Okay? So I want you guys to go to page 155. And we're going to look at 2 through 8 even.
So all the evens.
Yeah, it's 4 questions.